Lulu Luchaire leads as founder and creative director the luxury festival Ondalinda, held annually in Costa Careyes, positioning the event as a multisensory and cultural experience that balances music, art, well-being and human connection, respecting and promoting awareness with the environment. A proposal that also increases the visibility of local talent and indigenous crafts. We delve into the impact that its sector has suffered post-COVID and the innovation and adaptation, rethinking future editions and experiences. How did you immerse into the creation of Ondalinda Festival?
So on the Linda, it's the creation process is always a hard part to talk about because there's no kind of linear path to it. But I would say that what guides the process every year is the desire to celebrate a certain aspect of the Mexican culture. But we do it using also like international concepts that everyone can relate to. The idea is to create a soulful experience and to also promote and celebrate Mexican culture. So every year we tend to either partner with a different region. So for example, in the past, we've celebrated the Huichol culture working with Jalisco, which is where Careyes is and where the Ondalinda Festival takes place every year. We partner with Oaxaca, and we work with the region there to bring artisans, different type of artisans that creates things like alebrijes or barro negro, so different type of craftsmanship, so that we can introduce the beauties of crafts and culture to our guests at Ondalinda. So that's one of the ways. So sometimes, that would guide a little bit the overall theme for every year. Sometimes it will be something more personal, that something happened, right? Or like in 2019, the theme was multiverse, because I just felt like we were in a time and space where there were different worlds, and there's this kind of dichotomy where we're both all connected in one world, but there's also very different realities to a lot of people. So that was the guiding kind of idea. And then from there, comes a lot of different aspects that we integrate within the festival.
That's amazing. So you also give a platform basically and elevate all the locals and artisans in the area, right?
I work with an amazing team of people. I have an amazing creative director that does all the scenery, Gatsby Mulhausen. She creates all the big art sculpture and different things that we do in terms of art installation, and she works with local artisans because one of the big objectives to Ondalinda is to give back to the local economy. So we try and promote, aside from the music, which is very much international DJs from everywhere, all the rest, we try to really work with Mexicans locally, right? And promote the economy and the culture locally, or elsewhere from Mexico, right? So maybe you'll have craftsmen that come and expose and sell their crafts from Oaxaca or different Michoacan or from a different region. Maybe we'll work with artisans from Michoacan or from Jalisco locally to build big art installations. And then, we'll do an art exhibition with young upcoming Mexican artists. And then every year we do a fashion pop-up. So we have amazing people in my team that find really good young designers or not young designers, but people that work with, groups of women or indigenous tribes. And we try and promote those brands in particular. So we sell those brands at the fashion pop-up every year.
Just to focus a little bit, after the impact with COVID-19, it's obviously impacted in all sectors, but particularly events. How are you adapting your proposal for the next year? Or have you already done small gatherings or smaller events working towards the new era?
It's been such an interesting and weird times, right, for all of us. What I gather from this time is that it's a good time to reflect and to kind of design the future, hopefully with more consciousness. And it's a time to go through with love and compassion because everyone's impacted in very different ways. And at first I try and do something digital because I wanted the community to be able to see each other and, have a space to to gather, even if online. But the model of Ondalinda doesn't really work for that. That's the reality. You know, it's very special because it's in Careyes. It's very special because people live different experience from, we do a lot of wellness experiences, things like this, right? Dinners and different things that are really hard to do virtually. That's the reality. So unfortunately, I had to cancel the edition of November 2020. I'm keeping, you know, close contact with the community and getting their feedback and being sensitive about when would be a good time to reconvene and gather as a community and how, you know. And I think we need a bit of time to figure out what is the safest way to do that. The other thing is the Ondalinda community is very international. And it's people that fly from everywhere and that come from everywhere, which makes it very special because you'll meet people from New Zealand and from Israel and from Italy, and you know, so it's an amazing opportunity to broaden your experience and your vision of the world at Ondalinda. But for the situation today, it's not ideal. So you know, I'm just going with the flow and seeing how things evolve, and keeping close contact and communication with the Ondalinda community. And we'll gather again when it's safe to do so.
Part of the new luxury tendencies is looking to consume less products and looking more for luxury experiences, which is all about Ondalinda Festival. So I just wanted to know the kind of experiences that a guest lives once they arrive to your festival until they leave and during their stay.
I think the first thing to say is, you know, my partner and co-producer in Ondalinda in Careyes is Filippo Brignone. He's in Careyes and represents this beautiful place, which is very magical in itself, right? So I think a lot of the experience is also because we create, you know, this magic within a location that's already very magical by nature, both because of what it, you know, the architecture and the community, but also the nature is so powerful there. So I think it creates a space where people can gather in a way that hopefully they are able to be vulnerable, authentic themselves, and share real experiences. That's what I really thrive for as an experience for people, for our guests, because I think a lot of us, and especially in the luxury world, there's a tendency to put a mask on, right? And to like just play a role maybe. And a lot of people feel like they have to do that in their lives often, and that's normal and that's okay. But I hope to offer a place where they can be authentic and themselves, maybe let their guard down, feel safe, feel connected to nature, and experience different things that maybe they haven't experienced before, and meet really interesting people. That's the objective.
You actually mentioned it before, but if you would like to go a little bit into more depth about all the social and environmental action that does take place during the festival, and the collaborations and everything that you do that truly make it unique and separate Ondalinda from all other festivals.
I think there's a couple of things. First of all, we're extremely lucky to have a beautiful community. So the Ondalinda people and guests are, you know, very conscious people from all over the place, all over the world, different countries, and that creates a beautiful atmosphere in itself. And then again, we're in Careyes, which is a beautiful place that really cares about nature and the environment, etc. And we put our own touch to it. Obviously, we are plastic free, and you know, we try to reduce plastics as much as we can, everywhere we can, and recycle.
Once the festival finishes, everything is left behind as it was. I suppose there's no residues or anything that impacts negatively after the...
Absolutely. Like, for example, we've learned from past experiences where it wasn't always like this. You know, it was obviously, it's a process and it's an evolution. And I think I really encourage people to go down that path. It's hard to do it perfectly, and I think there's a lot of resistance from a lot of businesses because they always worry to do something wrong. And you know, it's baby steps, and we all do things wrong, but if you strive for the betterment, then hopefully every year it's a bit better. And so, for example, when we do those big art installations, We only use recyclable materials and natural materials like mud and straw and wood and things like this, right? Because that's an important way to leave no trace. So there's a lot of different things that we do like this to have, as little impact as we can, and as positive impact as we can.
Thank you so much, Lulu, for your time and for sharing with us the unique proposal and the conscious and innovative vision that you have with Ondalinda in Costa Careyes.